Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Alan Scott Green Lantern because Tim Sheridan's at it again with his nonsense. So at this point, we're going to talk, but let it be known, go to hell, DC comic books, and I mean go all the way to hell. I mean, this crap right here is so disrespectful. Go to hell, Jim Lee. Go to hell, Tim Sheridan. Go to hell, the editors at DC. Go to hell, David Zaslav. And at this point, I hope DC gets sold to somebody better or whatever, because this is nonsensical. I mean, for God's sakes, we are sitting up here letting what Tim Sheridan tells some Tumblr gay fantasy fanfic crap. And I'm sorry, not in DC comic books. You need to take that somewhere else. It is weird because Alan Scott has so much rich history within his character, and then you're going to sit up here and try to say, hey, you know what would be great if we take this classic 1940s character and retroactively make him gay because diversity and inclusion reasons. No, that's not how that works. You want some gay storylines? Go somewhere else. But you can't do that with some DC characters, especially a character who's for years is known not to be gay. Like, there are too many storylines that contradicts everything that Tim Sheridan is doing, and I think it's freaking weird and disrespectful to fans of Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, and just DC comic books in general, that you think it's okay to include all of this nonsense into the franchise. No, it's weird. It is creepy. And I just think it's wrong that it was allowed. And then you telling people like, we're trying to own the libs. You can't own the libs with this kind of stuff. You can't promote this nonsense. And it contradicts so much stuff. Hell, I had to go back and like read Green Lantern, Alan Scott, because I'm just like, where's he getting half of this stuff from? The Asylum, Billy talking about that he's a girl instead of a guy, the lantern ring that just made absolutely no sense. There's just so much that was contradiction in that. And then to have Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, whoring himself out as a prostitute while picking up prostitutes is weird. Like, that is weird. Like, this is a superhero franchise. This is a superhero genre. This isn't some, oh, let's tell some gay lover story. No, I'm sorry. That's not how any of this crap works. And then he's over here talking about it's criminal. Well, if it's criminal in the 1940s, why are you doing it? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be a hero. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about the struggles of a closeted man, but you're doing so many modern tropes in this storyline that it makes absolutely no sense. Did you even research the 1940s? Did you know how the lingo was back in the day? Because you sure as hell ain't having these characters talk in the 1940s if they're supposed to be in the 1940s. This is like some modern nonsense. It is weird. The military was like, hey, Alan, you should check yourself into Arkham Asylum. Yeah, Arkham Asylum. Well, actually, Arkham Asylum wasn't even established until the 1960s. And yes, Alan Scott is mostly based in Gotham City, but at the time, he was with the JSA, so he would be in New York City at the time. So why Arkham Asylum? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just find it very weird. There are just so many contradictions. But y'all need to stop. This shit is weird. Y'all are literally over here taking a legendary 1940s character, making them gay, and then trying to retroactively write it like that. Like, no offense, this should be the storyline for the Alan Scott, um, you know, Green Lantern character from Earth 2 New 52 run. That's fine. But to take it and say the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, is like this just contradicts too much of his history, and I don't think it's right. And it's weird that you guys sit up here trying to tell somebody that they're in the wrong for not liking this or whatever, but you're contradicting. And then you try to act the Spectre in it, Jim Corrigan. And it's just like, he is the wrath of God, and don't even try that nonsense. He is literally the wrath of God based mostly off of the Old Testament, where he's not tolerable. He is not tolerant to that kind of stuff. So Alan Scott purposely sinning like this, you really think the Spectre is just gonna be like, yeah, that's great? He more will be like, what he's doing is wrong, because if you guys read the Spectre run, and if you guys know who the Spectre is, you know him along with Alan Scott and a few of the original JSA members were not very friendly to LGBT folks. I don't know what to damn tell you. I don't know this little fantasy world that you think that early in the 1940s people was accepting or whatever. No, because if that's the case, why y'all still talking about how y'all prosecuted or whatever, or oppressed, if they were sort of okay or whatever. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't come out of nowhere and just retroactively add modern sensibilities of LGBT into a 1940s thing. No, most people in the 1940s were not that, okay with the LGBT folks. And if you really want to try to show quote unquote bigotry or whatever, then you need to show it. You should know damn well that the Spectre would not be tolerable to Alan's misdeeds or misfortune. He'd probably be like, the only reason why I haven't unleashed the wrath is because we worked together on the JSA, and you being a hero is more important than right now judgment of the Lord. That's what really should have been happening, not him hugging Spectre and talking about, well, nothing's wrong with you, Alan, and if God didn't want you to love a man, he wouldn't have made you love a man. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this whole trying to rewrite Christianity in your own way is weird as well. It is weird. So at this point, go to hell, DC. Like, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to go somewhere with this crap. Y'all are literally ruining these characters, but then you want us to read and pay for this shit. No, I'm sorry. That's not how any of this shit works. You can't just sit up here and tell me, oh, we're going to retroactively take a character that has 80 years of history, right? And then we're going to make him gay because we need more LGBT heroes in the DC universe, which, no, you really don't. Minorities for a reason. Stop with that nonsense. I'm so sick of hearing, oh, we need more diversity and inclusion. No, we really don't. We need more good storytelling. It's kind of funny how they were able to tell good stories all the way up until 2011. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? You know what I'm saying? And isn't your book, Tim Sheridan, since you want to block everybody, isn't your book like below 200s? And I'm talking about in the top 200s of comic book sales. It's nowhere close. Like, that's pathetic. That is pathetic. And you tried this shit with Teen Titans Academy, where instead of focusing on Teen Titans, you focused on all these LGBT diversity and inclusion characters, and it didn't work. Nobody cares. And again, you can't keep going retroactively doing this shit. And then on top of that, you're making Alan a whore. Every man he comes in contact with, some tragedy happens, and it's all because his first love is now the Crimson Lantern. Oh wow! So we have a origin for, I guess, the Red Lanterns, which really doesn't make any logical sense. It's the most asinine thing ever. And then you ignore the fact of he was in love with one of his villains, married her, had twins with her, then she died, and then fell in love with another villain, Harley Quinn, the original Harley Quinn. All of these things that you keep forgetting about, or the fact that he was just a civil engineering, and the reason why the things happened with the train accident is because the company that he was working for, Decker, was self-sabotaging stuff so they can pull off insurance fraud. Like, you completely forget about all of that, but you want to keep doubling down on this nonsense, and there's really no action is happening. It is them standing around talking a lot. Bump that. I want to see some action. At least if you're going to try to write this notion of this LGBT bullcrap, you need to have some action going on. I need to see the characters fighting or whatever. And it's already weird enough how he's like shaky and indifferent to the JSA. That is weird. That is not how it was. He's a founding member of the JSA. He shouldn't even have been blackmailed or whatever. And it's weird that he would be so clumsy with his quote unquote secret love life if he was really that. Because most men back in those days, if they were LGBT, they as sure as hell don't let people know about it, and they wouldn't be easily careless about it. But no, you want to show it because you think it's cute. It is weird. It is weird. Like, we're whoring out Alan Scott at the altar just so we can be like, oh look, we got LGBT heroes. No, that is weird. If you want to do that outside of DC comic books, or you make sure that the story is action focused more so than anything else. And instead, you're trying to tell some gay Tumblr storyline in an action-driven genre where most of your goddamn readers are fucking straight. Stop it. I just don't get it. Why do you think you keep doubling down on that nonsense? It doesn't work. So please stop with this crap. And y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. And like I said before, everybody that works at DC at this point can go to hell because this is ridiculous. And y'all wonder why comic book stores are closing at an accelerated rate. You wonder why your movies aren't doing that well. You wonder why your video games aren't doing that well. You wonder why your animation stuff ain't doing that well. Stuff like this. This is the reason why, because you have incompetency running the company. And this is coming from a diverse person. So don't even try that. Oh, it's just another white man talking. No, it's a black person. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.